you can see my clutter. See, I gotta hide stuff like that. Oh, look here, keeping up appearances. Isn't that nice? You know, behind every Instagram kitchen, there's just like a whole mess of stuff. Anyways, happy Sunday. And every Sunday I make muffins because I hate cereal. And my kids like cereal and their dad loves it. I roll. But I really don't think that dust formed into shapes in a factory is something you should consider breakfast. And you might disagree, but guess what? We probably disagree on many things and we can still be friends. Anyways, I haven't gone to jail for this can of pumpkin yet, but there's my pumpkin saga right below if you want to watch the video series on this controversial can of pumpkin. So many of you were like, tell them you stole. I didn't steal it. I paid $42 for it. But people were like, take it back or don't call them. I got like the funniest messages. So I've really enjoyed sharing my pumpkin saga with you. I think for now, I'm just gonna do crunches or squats and lift my pumpkin because it's like such a great can of pumpkin. Just kidding. Today, we're just gonna make muffins instead so that I can put those on a plate with like an apple or a banana and some nuts in the morning for my kids. I created this recipe myself. For real. I took a recipe probably 12 years ago and I really loved the second cup pumpkin muffins and they were really bad for you. So I wanted something very nutrient dense and ridiculously tasty, and that is what I'm going to show you today. So let's get started. Okay, so the most important thing to me is ingredients. I believe that you vote with your dollar, and every time you buy something that is at a higher standard, you're helping to drive the price down. That's what I believe. So I know that there's some controversy lately over organics not having as strict of guidelines for the organic label, but guess what? I don't care. I just don't care. I'm doing the best I can do. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I wanna talk a little bit about these ingredients. So this recipe has 4 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, which I do some variances with that because obviously that's like really the only thing in here that's not my favorite part. But I've done a cup of regular sugar, a cup of coconut sugar. I've really mixed it up different ways. I've done agave nectar, I've done honey, and there's obviously lots. I mean, if you're gonna get really picky, there's lots of controversy even around agave nectar that your body sees it like high fructose corn syrup. So you can't hit all the things, but you try your best, okay? And then it's got 2 cups of canned pumpkin, 1 small zucchini grated, and I don't even wring it out. Like I don't even dry it off, I just carry on. 1 cup of olive oil, 1 cup of water. This is, in my opinion, one of your body's best oils other than avocado or coconut oil. So to have this in a muffin recipe where traditionally you'd have canola oil is a way better choice. And because the flavor is so much stronger than a cakey muffin, you can use olive oil and not taste it. So that's really cool. It's got 2 cups of whole wheat flour and 1 1/3 cups of white flour. Something about flour is I've noticed a lot lately that certain stores, I go there and I'm looking specifically for the organic flour, and that matters to me. And so I started buying it online because the store didn't have it. And I'm not gonna buy something I don't want. So then when I buy it online though, I look to see that it's still really local. So this flour is from Fraser Valley, Burnaby, BC. So that's literally like just across the water, which is awesome. So I'm still supporting someone local. Then we have a 1/4 cup of bran and a 1/4 cup, I'm using hemp hearts. So I've used bran and flaxseed. I've used some different things before. I used to use whole flaxseed and ground flaxseed because flaxseed is fat soluble, but it also works to like clean out your intestines. So it does both. So I used to use both, but you can do that any way you want. So it's just a 1/4 cup of one, a 1/4 cup of the other, and you can kind of pick. And then your classic baking soda, salt, baking powder, and then chopped nuts. Oh, forgot something. So I want to be able to send this to school with my kids. So, I mean, for the most part, I do a lot of muffins at home and I chop pecans and things like that because nuts are so good for us. But I do pumpkin seeds. You want to make sure that your pumpkin seeds aren't toasted in like soybean oil or something like that. It's just a really good option. And even like there are so many vital nutrients out of a pumpkin seed. Just pumpkins. They're just the best ever. So anyways, I put these in. I think I use a cup. It's a cup of chopped nuts, but I either do a cup of that, and then sometimes I put pumpkin seeds on top because it just looks festive. So that's how I feel about the ingredients. And okay, so one of my biggest joys in life is experimenting with food and finding ways to make stuff that is nutritious actually tastes really good for you. Because I feel like back in the 90s when I grew up, they were like, you want to be slim. Okay, it wasn't healthy. It was like, if you want to be slim, have fat-free salad dressing on iceberg lettuce, a Diet Coke, and a baked potato. And everyone was like, not doing so well. And what I think is happening right now is this is the war on health. And it's your responsibility to do what's best for your body and your family's bodies. And I think food is medicine. And I think the best thing you can put in your body is stuff like this. So I feel really passionate about my purpose as like a wife and a mom, because I assure you, my husband could live on Wonder Bars and Dr. Pepper. So, but I'm always flinging stuff. But he said the other day, I could eat like 20 of these muffins a day. I'm like, okay, don't for one, but that's great. So pretty cool. Question about these eggs. So you can't see that, can you? My eggs, they're all twins. Okay, what is that about? Like, it's like, what kind of giant bird? They're jumbo eggs. I bought jumbo by accident. Look at that. Oh, we could separate it. It's twins. So now I'm like, if it calls for 4 eggs, am I done? Is that it? Isn't that weird? So that's super creepy to me. I'm like, what is this monster bird laying twins all day? Like, is this in vitro? What are they doing to this bird? Creeps me out. These aren't organic either. Not that that's the solution to everything, but I don't know what's happening with these eggs. I think, is that Big Bird? Just kidding. That was funnier in my head. Anyways, so I think I'm just going to take these double yolks and I'm just going to mix in, I'm going to add some egg whites. Maybe that's what I'll do. Because I'm like, no, you can't see me. I'm not a real photographer. Let's call that 4 eggs. So I just grate a small zucchini into this, and I love it because I don't wring it out. I don't do any of that, but I do pay attention to how watery the recipe is, and I might add a little bit more flour or a little bit more bran or something. So just, paying attention and using wisdom. But yeah, it makes it really easy. And this gadget my mother-in-law bought for me, and I love it. I don't like kitchen gadgets at all. I don't want more stuff. I hate stuff. But when stuff serves a purpose, and the purpose is cooking and eating, I'm very happy. Thank you, Vanessa. I love you. So this is a great one. And you can also like put it like this. It's great for doing nachos and grating cheese. I love it. Except last night I grated my nail. That was very sad and painful. So you always got to practice caution, Everything's dangerous. Just need a little snack break. My son and I last night, I discovered cabbage rolls a month ago at my mom and dad's house, and sour cabbage rolls. And my whole life I was like, ew. Now I'm like, new favorite food, period, comfort food maybe. So we did a good job. It's my first time doing it. Colston kind of folded them however he wanted, but that's okay. And they taste so good. I just want to experiment with old favorites. And this was never my favorite, but it's my new favorite. And bring back some of the things that our babas and our mums and stuff made. So good. Classic. One more thing. The recipe I followed was like an 85-year-old baba on YouTube. And I just adored her. And it's so helpful to have cooking videos and get tips from like real babas. Someone, somewhere, someday that baba is gonna die and those kids are just gonna watch baba make cabbage rolls because it's so precious. If I die, you guys are gonna pull up all these videos because I'm so precious. Okay, so I used to do a cup and a half of olive oil and a half a cup of water. And then I made a few other pumpkin loaf recipes and they legit had a cup of water in them. So now I'm like, might as well save money and my hips. And last week I made them with a cup of oil and a cup of water and they were delicious. And oil, like this oil isn't cheap. right? Because I don't want cheap oil. So then, and I also go off of how greasy my muffin liners are. Sorry. Someone get me a cooler apron. Dear Abby, give me a cooler apron. Dear Amanda and Heidi. That's more who's, they never watch these videos. I'm sure they get enough of me in their day-to-day life, but I would like a really cool apron. So now we're gonna switch over to our flours. So easy, quick and dirty. That's how muffins are. Okay, so I keep my whole wheat organic flour in a old pickle jar, which I do love. Oh, that's a little scant. That's a little scant. I don't want my flour scant, that's for sure. Oh, this is awkward. Ah. My OCD friends would be like, what are you doing? But I think I'm ADD now, not OCD. So there's that. I think my ADD-ness makes me a really good time. You're welcome. This is not going well. This Pampered Chef thing comes with this little tiny knife. I mean, it would be better if I was probably using a legit Tupperware container. But I'm trying to get away from that. There's gonna be flour all over my floor. Oh well, living my best life. Now we need 1.3 cups of white flour. I've also done this differently with the flours before. I've done all whole wheat, just makes it a bit drier. So if I used a little bit more zucchini and it feels like a little bit too wet, then I might do all whole wheat flour because it's drier, right? So it's gonna absorb more moisture. And then 1/3. So yeah, this is still in plastic because I can't win them all. My other glass jar that I have is holding, it's empty, but it should be holding coconut. I feel like there's been a coconut shortage during the Rona times. That's what I feel. Okay, so now my favorite is however I want to do my variables here. But because I've been making bran muffins lately, which that's going to be one of my next videos, I'm going to do 1/4 cup of bran. And last time was the first time I ever did hemp hearts, but I feel like my hemp hearts in the fridge, like flaxseed seems to go rancid a lot faster. And so my hemp hearts, I just try to put everything in glass jars if I can. It's an old coffee, like instant coffee. I bought this once for a cake and no-bake cheesecake and used a tablespoon, and then the rest went rotten. Oh well, live and learn. Whenever I modify a recipe, I always take my baking soda and my baking powder very seriously because I don't understand them. So I'm just gonna be extra cautious. So baking soda, I've got 2 teaspoons. Oh geez. 2 teaspoons. And then 1 teaspoon baking powder. I should use my knife. Oh no, just kidding. Sure, I'll be fine. And salt. I love these little things. Doesn't make you feel like a real cook. Love salt. Take life with a grain of salt. Also, don't take yourself so seriously. And don't be mean to others. Okay, now my favorite, everything that makes it feel like gingerbread, pumpkin, spice, all those good things. Years ago, where's my cloves? Years ago, this lady has passed away. May she rest in peace, sweet Shirley. I went to a lady's house. She was such a cool lady, had the coolest house. I was house sitting for her around Thanksgiving and I was gonna take a pie to my mom's. And I said I couldn't find nutmeg anywhere. So I had to make a pumpkin pie without nutmeg, or I think I went and bought some. So then when she came home, I said, you didn't have any nutmeg? And she's like, sure, I have them as nuts. And I was like, they start as a nut? What? I didn't even know that. So anyways, ever since then, she for Christmas bought me some nutmeg and a little microplane. And ever since I use my nutmeg and I think of sweet Shirley. Love Shirley. This is another great microplane to have. Awesome. Set it on top. And then just freestyle it. Nutmeg has lots of nutritional goodness. You should look that up. Now, some people don't, I feel like nutmeg is kind of like cilantro. You either love it or don't love it. I love it. Big nutmeg fan. That's probably good. See? How cool is that? Oh, it smells so good. Now I'm gonna use a teaspoon of cinnamon and a teaspoon, oh, jeepers, I'm loud today. I might use a little bit more. I like it spicy. Oh, it smells so good. Holy cow. And then cloves, which I generally hate. Like if I have a ham, if someone makes, well, I don't really like ham at all, but if someone makes a ham and there's cloves in it, I'm like, sorry, Mom. I know you put your cloves in your ham. So now we're just gonna mix all this up and add a cup of chopped nuts. I'm using pumpkin seeds. Cup's a lot. If you're on a diet, you might not wanna put these into your fitness pal. Although I actually think on average, I think I had put it in, and on average a muffin is like 234 calories, but it is 234 nutrient dense calories, which is very important and much better for you. I feel like I forgot something. I forgot sugar. What did your mom make when you were little that you had to have a taste of when you were little and then never had again? Because for me, it was cabbage rolls. And I have this memory, my mom's always making fun of me. I have this memory of waking up on Christmas morning and the whole house smelling sour. Then when I was at my mom's, she made these cabbage rolls and house didn't stink, and I was so weirded out. Then yesterday, I had sauerkraut all out on the counter, and I came in and I was like, who farted? It smells horrible in here. So I think you just have to like leave and come back to know what the smell's like. But anyways, what is something you should try that you didn't like back in the day that maybe now you love? I was like, I could eat these all day, and I might. Try and stop me. I'm actually quite nervous that I did add sugar, because the worst thing I could probably do is add double sugar. Although one time, my friends Donna and Dustin, I love to bake for people, and they came over and I made a chocolate cake and I forgot to put sugar in it, and it was the weirdest thing, because you were like, this is like cocoa. It was very weird. So I'm going to stir this and then I'm going to taste it, and that's how I'm going to know. Look how good this looks though. Like it just looks like vital. You probably don't think it looks good. That's probably just me. I feel like it just looks so vital. All the orange and the green bits, and I just love to taste the rainbow. See, now my mixture looks a little bit drier than normal. No, I didn't add sugar. Today I'm low on coconut sugar, and I have it in my coffee. So that's like a big priority for me. So I'm gonna just use regular sugar today, 2 cups of it. Okay, so using my favorite muffin cups, the parchment ones. You can use the regular ones as well, but I like these because nothing sticks. They're really nice. So don't these look beautiful? I use my Pampered Chef scooper, and these muffins have great height. They have a really nice volume. So I do this just heaping, and everyone needs these. These scoopers are fantastic. So I'm gonna cook this at 375 for about 22 minutes. I use my cake tester to make sure they're not wet inside at all, but they are beautiful. So I'll show you those to you in a minute. Okay, so this is a cereal that my kids had at camp this summer and they absolutely loved. So then they bought it and brought it home. And so the first ingredient, rice, whole grain wheat, okay, whatever. And then sugar, corn syrup, blackstrap molasses, which I'm actually a fan of, honey, and malted barley syrup. Then roasted soybeans. So, and then a whole bunch of other ingredients. So would you rather have this, or would you rather have this? My husband's staring at me. I know you love cereal so much. This is the war on cereal and the war on your body. It's a real thing, okay? So let's bake these up and see what they look like. So while we wait for this to preheat, just kidding, it's done. What else should we make this month? What should we make out of pumpkin? What do you want to see? Do you still make pies? Pies are I feel like a lost art. Oh, looks good. Pies are an art we don't want to lose. Eating them, making them. And I dream of my kids thinking my pie is just like the best ever. So message me in the comments. Let me know if there's something specifically that you want to try with me this month, because I'm really excited. Okay, so they're out of the oven. They look beautiful. Nice cracking on the top, good height of all the muffins. And then because I'm lazy, I just do this. Try to not get them all on the floor. And then I let them cool on here, because there's nothing worse than a sweaty muffin. On so many levels. There's nothing worse. And you don't want them to get sticky. And then I put them, once they're all cooled, hi honey. Once they're all cooled, I put them into the freezer, and then I take a few out every night so that they're fresh for the next day, which I really love. So there you go, pumpkin muffins.